A lot of independent restaurant owners believe that they're losing customers because their food isn't good enough or because their prices are too high. But that's almost never the actual reason that customers choose to walk into your competitor's dining room instead of yours. And if you don't understand what's really driving that decision, there's nothing that you can do to change it. Let's get into the video. Today, we're going to talk about three psychological triggers that determine which restaurant a customer actually chooses. And I'm not talking about food quality, and I don't mean price. I mean the underlying decision making that really happens before a customer ever reads your menu. Because once you understand these triggers, you stop guessing and you start making deliberate decisions about how your restaurant shows up in the market. The first thing to remember is that customers are not just choosing a meal, they are choosing a restaurant that's based on who they are. And here's what I mean. When a guest decides where to eat tonight, often without thinking about it, they're asking themselves one question: does this restaurant match how I see myself? A customer who sees themselves as a supporter of their local community is not going to walk into a chain restaurant if they have a locally owned option nearby. A customer who maybe considers themselves adventurous is not going to choose the most predictable, boring, stable option. They're going to choose the place that reinforces their own self image. So, then, what does that mean for you as an independent restaurant owner? Well, it means that your restaurant is communicating an identity whether you intend it to or not. The question is whether that identity it communicates matches the identity of the customers that you're trying to attract. If your signage, your interior, your menu language, and your online presence are sending one message, but your ideal customer base sees themselves in a completely different way, you've already lost them even before they ever consider your food. The practical thing that you can do here is straightforward. Look at your best, most loyal customers, the ones who keep coming back consistently, and then ask yourself, what do these people have in common? Not demographically, but psychologically. How do they see themselves? And then audit your restaurant's presentation and ask honestly whether it speaks to that identity or contradicts it. The second thing to understand is that dining out is not just about eating. It's a social experience, and customers are acutely aware of what being seen at a particular restaurant says about them. Now, let's talk briefly about why this matters more now than most operators realize. See, when your customers walk into a restaurant, they are scanning the room. They're noticing who else is there, how the staff treats people, what the atmosphere feels like, and whether they feel at home in your dining room. That feeling, belonging, is one of the most powerful psychological drivers of repeat business in this entire industry. And your competitor may be winning on this dimension without you even realizing it. It may not be that their food is better. It might just be simply that the experience of being in the competitor's dining room feels more comfortable, more familiar, or more aligned with who your target customer wants to be. And here's a practical example of what I mean by this. See, staff demeanor matters enormously here. How does your team greet guests? How do they interact with them during the meal? Whether they make customers feel welcome or make them feel like an interruption. These things create the sense of belonging that keeps customers coming back or sends them across the street. Now, the exercise that I would encourage you to do is to walk through your own front door as a stranger, not as the owner who knows every corner of the room, but as someone who has never been there before. What does that experience signal? Does it feel welcoming? Does it feel like a place where your ideal customer would feel at home? Or does something feel slightly off? The next thing to understand about this is that customers naturally default to perceived safety. And perceived safety is not the same as familiarity. A customer does not need to have been to your competitor's restaurant to choose it over yours. They just need something in your competitor's presentation to feel more reliable, maybe more trustworthy, more professional. And that judgment happens very fast, often in under 30 seconds, based on entirely what they see before they ever walk through the front door. So, what does that really mean? Well, it means that there are three touch points that most independent restaurant owners underestimate completely. The first is your Google business listing, your photos, your ratings, your review responses, and whether your information is accurate and complete. The second is your exterior, signage, cleanliness, lighting, and curb appeal. The third is your online menu, whether it's easy to find, easy to read, and whether the photography communicates quality. Your competitors may be winning customers not because they're better, but because those three touch points project more confidence and more professionalism than yours currently do. And that is a correctable problem. It does not require a renovation or a rebrand. It requires a deliberate audit of what customers see before they decide. So let's bring this all together. There's a few things you want to do and a few things you absolutely want to stop doing. Number one, you want to audit your restaurants through a customer's eyes, not the owner's. You're too close to it. Start by asking a trusted person who does not know your restaurant to give you an honest impression of your Google listing, your exterior, and your online menu. What do they feel? What do they assume about the experience? Number two, you want to position your restaurant around a specific customer identity. In marketing, we call that a brand persona. Now, this is not everyone. A restaurant that tries to appeal to everyone is sending a message to no one. Number three, do not compete on price as your response to losing customers. Dropping your prices does not fix an identity problem, a belonging problem, or a trust problem. It just reduces your margins while the underlying issue remains unsolved. And the last thing, do not assume that the food quality alone will win customers back once you have lost them. Quality keeps customers who already trust you. It does not attract customers who have already decided to walk past your door. The real reason why customers choose your competitors is almost never what you think it is when you first ask the question. It is not simply better food or lower prices. It is alignment, belonging, and trust. All three of those things are within your control to improve them. In the post pandemic economy, it's important to remember two things. Number one, just having good food is not good enough anymore. And number two, if no one walks through the front door of your restaurant, then nothing else matters. I'm Donovan Garrett. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.